And I'm just trying to get a general idea, along with you, what fluoride is and where the idea came from to put it in our drink. To levels, they say they rarely exceed 10 milligrams per liter. This is where it becomes hazardous, dangerous at high levels, leading to serious health problems. Worldwide, 50 million people receive water from water supplies that naturally have close to the optimal level. So I don't know why it is that they have to add more. I guess the form of fluoride, or is it sodium fluoride? That's what we need to get down to as well. So as I said before, the supply can go up to 120% of this amount. Fasting can increase it to 150%. It can actually cause, look at here, an increased risk of dental and skeletal fluorosis. So something that's supposed to be good for our teeth or bone is actually bad. It's bad for bone. It is bad for being a good idea to go in our water. I'll just kind of give you a summary of that, but if you want, you can look them up further. There's a lot of information on this guy. Not very much is good, unless you're the government. And he was basically covering the government's ass, pardon my French, as far as taking a liability off of them, because we got an expert that said this, so it's not the government's fault anymore, it's just this guy's fault. And apparently this guy was involved in all sorts of kind of beyond strange things. His reputation was damaged due to a publication, won the Pulitzer Prize. I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds like something for writing something that mattered. And he is documented in the chilling human experiments in which the subjects did not know they were being tested, and they were injecting these people with uranium and plutonium. Oh, just a little bit's not bad for you. No, I don't know where this came from, but I know, this is beyond toxic, beyond toxicology, just beyond any type of idea of where that would be good. And doing it unknowingly, and eventually the government, U.S. government, settled for the victims' families, paying out $400,000 per family. That was a long time ago. That was actually, 1945 was the same time he was doing the studies for the fluoride and gave the green light for that exact same year. So that's kind of scary. And again, he played a key role in promoting the implementation of water fluorination in the United States. From the water fluorination controversy stems from this guy. He's also involved in the Manhattan Project, and apparently the atomic bomb, there's a lot of fluoride used in the construction or the formation of chemicals or whatever they needed to do. There was a lot of fluoride needed to manufacture an atomic bomb. I'm not sure why, but if you're a chemist, you probably know a little more about that than I do. So moving right along here, we have dental fluorosis. So actually there is a very specific problem that it causes for your teeth if you get too much. And I don't see how they could ever say, okay, well, this is the line and this is what's in there naturally. And how do we know? Water, you can test it, but there's so much of it. It's going in so many different places, and then you've got so many different ages, and it just doesn't seem like a good idea to me. It just doesn't seem like a good idea. And I think a lot of people are kind of waking up to this. How do you backpedal on this if you're the government? Really, they're still fighting for it. I watched something earlier that said, it prevented 27% of, what would normally be the tooth decay level, but then there was something else saying that it lowered IQ scores, the people that had higher fluorination in the water. So obviously there's different levels of fluorination going on, and there's no way, I don't think, to make it all consistent. So if there's enough people getting too much of it, then it should easily outweigh the fact that some people are going to have better teeth. it doesn't seem that important because you're talking about a neurotoxin. You're talking about something that destroys bone, destroys cells. It destroys nerve cells. It's a neurotoxin, basically, and we'll get into more of that, why or where. And again, this is this very nice man that we found, Mr. Harold Hodge. If you look here, I googled something along the lines with him and Harold Hodge, who was later revealed to have been part of the human radiation experiment. Yes, in 1945 and 6, the same years that he pressed for fluorination in our water. And as you can see, there's just fluoride here, and we're talking about toxicity right now. We're talking about Mr. Hodges, or whatever his name is, who authorized all this to begin, the great radiation and plutonium human injection, whatever, doctor or scientist. But anyway, so how toxic is fluoride compared to lead and arsenic? Now, we know lead and arsenic is pretty bad, and fluoride falls right in the middle. It's a little more toxic than lead, and we know what lead paint alone does in minuscule amounts over time to children and even adults. And arsenic, if you haven't heard of arsenic, then you've been living on the moon or something, but arsenic is really, really nasty stuff. So fluoride is just a little bit less than arsenic and a little bit more than lead. Now here's the thing that's pretty disturbing, is the EPA maximum contaminant levels that are acceptable. Okay, this is 15, this is 10, I believe this is parts per billion. But it's like 10 for arsenic, 15 for lead, which is less toxic, and then 4,000 for fluoride. Why is that? That's insane. That is literally insane. Anyway, we're not surprised that the government does insane stuff, though, are we? You probably think I'm all this big anti-government person, but I mean, there's a lot of good people in the government. It's just there's a lot of people that are just ignorant to this, and they think they're doing something good, and then they realize later that they've been misled, and they always inform you that it was a mistake or they didn't know at the time. But that's where I have the problem with the government, and it's not the government, it's certain people in the government that influence everybody else. It's the 1%, just like of the bikers, they say the 1% are the ones that are the baddest, they're the ones that ruin it for everybody else in society. It's the same thing with the government. The government has a ton of good people working for it, and if you will continue to watch my channel, my videos, and hopefully progressively the quality of them will get better. Like I said, this is my very first video. I don't think I said that, but I'm saying it now, and I said that I would move earlier. But anyway, countries that do not contain fluoride in water have also seen big drops in the rate of cavities. Okay, so what they basically found out is that it's the toothpaste that has helped, and even the toothpaste, though, is being looked at as overkill now. The amounts that's in the toothpaste, it's not necessarily the fluorinated water. But this is again another document that illustrates the countries and how we have seen a decline in cavities everywhere in the world. It just happened to be around that time that fluoride was approved for toothpaste as well. I don't think it happened to be. I think there was significance to it, but I don't quite know what it is. Alright. I'm trying to shorten this up because I know, the longer sometimes things are, it's not always better. But right here, sodium fluoride is an industrial waste product of aluminum manufacturing. In 1945, local water treatment facilities began to add aluminum to fluoride in our water supply. And I think I already did this. Yeah, I did. Just going to go on to the next document. That's the longest. See, these aren't in order. You can tell I'm a beginner, right? Dental fluorosis. I think we looked at that. If we didn't, let's look at it. Dental fluorosis characterized by the tooth enamel. Okay, erosion of tooth enamel. These are like very common. See these little white spots? I mean, everybody has them. I think I have some. But that's fluorosis from fluoride. And is the fluoride in water neurotoxic to brains? Okay, this is from see, I should put all the resources in, and I think I'll list all these links, which I'll do down in the bottom if I can figure out how to do that at some point. I don't know if I'm going to do it right away, but I'll put all the links to all these documents, and there's so much information on there, it even shocked me of what's going on. And until 2015, the government revised the recommendation. So till then, they thought it was okay. Now that, oh, we made a mistake, oh, geez, well, we should probably lower it to, you know, it's 1.2 parts per million to 0.7. Why at all? Why do you need it at all in there? I don't understand it. Before, they thought, remember earlier before, it's like 10 parts per million is where the dangerous level is. Now they're saying anything above 1.2. Now it's 0.7. I think we're going to find out it's anything that was bad. I mean, that's what we're going to find out, is why do they keep insisting on this is a good idea? It's not necessary. It causes way more harm than good. I don't even know if it causes any good after, you know, you go through the rest of this with me. You know, hopefully you can question that yourself as well. I'm just presenting some information, you know, and I know it's not in the best format. But like I said, I just want to get my, everybody says in YouTube, get your first video out there, get your first video out there. Well, I want to like put out information that can be, you know, credited as something other than me just sitting there talking, saying this is this, this is that. You know, believe me, I'm this YouTube guy. You know, I want to have some type of documentation so that it gives people a start to think and maybe look into it themselves, or maybe just, you know, look at the presentation, and over time, as I do more of these in many interesting areas and controversial areas, not even conspiracies. I don't think these are conspiracies anymore. Maybe 20 years ago, but what is a conspiracy? That's going to be a topic myself that I want to look into, that we're going to do. Because conspiracy, I mean, I don't know. I've been jabbering the whole time here and not even like, going through this. But anyway, the revision was made not only as a result of rates in dental fluorosis, which causes splotches on teeth, isn't that nice? Result of potentially neurotoxic in children and adults, and you'll find out potentially is not, oh yeah, it is. You know, just as more time goes on, things just seem to get more from, oh, this we thought, oh, this we thought. And it's like anything. We thought the world was flat, and then they found out it's round. But if you argued with somebody back when it was flat, you were crazy. It's the same thing right here. You know, people will think I'm crazy for, you know, presenting this information. How could the government screw it? How could they? Why would they? What do you mean? I don't know. Why does anything happen? You know? You think you're pretty naive and ignorant, and sorry to say that to people, and if you don't want to watch my channel, that's fine, because this channel's not for you then, to think that, you know, just because it's a government agency that they don't make mistakes or do things potentially, and I quite think very possibly they're deliberate at some point. And like I said, it's not the whole government, it is a small percentage of people, and we'll get into that in various videos in the future, who's causing the problems here, if we can, or maybe just point to those directions. But anyway, there's this reduction to 7 parts per million. Okay. This is a really, I already saw that. Harold Hodge, our hero. Let's wish these documents were in order. I'm sorry, everybody. Thank you for bearing with me. Being annoying by having to do this. Oh, Harvard. Okay, we can trust Harvard, can't we? I trust them more than the government, that's for sure. I know I keep saying that. Oh, the government. But anyway, countries that do not fluoridate their water have also seen big drops in cavity. Here's another document. If you don't believe the last one, here's another one, and there's many more. U.S. to prevent tooth decay, health concerns expressed by opponents have largely been dismissed until recently. Now evidence is mounting. The era of fluoride toothpaste and consumer products that boost dental health. What about the water and consuming fluorinated water? It may outweigh the benefits for some individuals. Do we think? some, I'm guessing the majority, if not all. Last summer, the first time in 53 years, the U.S. lowered its recommendations of fluoride in the water. Well, isn't that great? Thank you so much for providing me with a little less neurotoxin. Anyway, let's see. Let's go on here. Just anxious to wrap this video up. Stop driving you guys crazy and try to look like I know what I'm talking about for a few minutes. Eventually this will go from me being kind of an entertaining fool to, organized information presentations that flow nicely, but right now it's just, this is kind of practice, and if you're watching this to this point or to the end, then I thank you and applaud you. Maybe you're just laughing at me, and that's fine too. Any attention's good. We all want attention. I hope you get something out of it, or at least it sparks, a concern maybe. Okay, and this is the probably document that just had the most information, and it's not by it's obviously not by a government agency, it's not by a blog site, it's by a site that sells health products and stuff. But I mean, of course they're going to be concerned about your health if they're selling health products. But I'll display all these different links to all these different places. Harvard was one. I mean, there's various. You can go on and find, the most credible, the Mental Health Alliance and all these different places that are in here with information. It's just overwhelming, really overwhelming. There's more than I thought. Last time I looked into this was about 6 months ago, and there's even more information. So the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services announced its plan to reduce the level of fluoride. Why are they, it seems if it was a good idea, you wouldn't have to reduce it. It shouldn't be in there at all. They just keep talking about reducing it. Okay, so anyway, it's an estimate that 41% of adolescents aged 12 to 15 have dental fluorosis. That's horrible. 41%. This is supposed to help your teeth, and over 40% of adolescents have had damage caused by fluoride. Here's another insane. If you're breastfeeding, 170 times more fluoride than a non-breastfed infant gets into their bloodstream. 175 times, not percent, times. That's insane. That can't be good. I mean, this is horrible. The development implications got to be huge on a child. All right, what do you want to do? We want to do something about this. The biggest organization is the Fluoride Action Network. Okay, you can look them up online. You could submit, comments, and I'm sure there's things that you can digitally sign to try to get this out of our water at least, and lowered in the toothpaste and other products that are put out there for our dental health. Anyway, we've been told about the harm from fluoride, and this needs to be investigated by the authorities and media, which is starting to. Serious concerns about conflict and the interest and heavy editing of information fed to the public about the fluoride risk and impacts. That's what I'm concerned. That's why I'm making this video, because edited information. Okay, first, information is ridiculed. Second, it's violently opposed. And finally, it's accepted as self-evident. That's becoming more of how we look at information in this day and age, and not just like, oh, we read something or saw something on this news, so that's true, which is good. It's a top 10 concern for household toxins. PA ban. I mean, there's more and more. It lowers IQ by 5 points, and that's it. Levels from 0.3 to 0.30, depending. 23 different studies from 4 countries have exposed the fact that fluoride lowers IQ in children. That's by 5 points. I mean, that's not. Oh, that doesn't sound like. Oh, that's worth it because it might be good for a few people's teeth, but it damaged 41%. Oh, but why isn't it in the water at all? Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you putting up with this disastrous first performance or whatever it is. Not a performance. It's a video to try to help people, and that's what I want to do, is try to help people with information they might not otherwise think about, and might not want to tear through the web looking it up because they're not that interested. They want somebody to kind of summarize everything and present them with something to think about. And that's what I tend to do on my channel. And you know, what you're going to find more surprisingly, and if you guys want me to make more videos about what's the crazy part, is it's a neurotoxin, so it attacks the part of our brain that affects cognition, and you know, this causes mental health problems. And then the crazy part is the mental health drugs, the most prescribed drugs in the country, nonetheless, are SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, and they actually are very heavily based fluoride medications as well. So the exact medications that were combating some of these, you know, problems and brain disorders that develop, and why mental health has spiked in our country, we're treating it with the same toxin. If that ever comes out to be true, oh my God. I mean, if a foreign country that was doing that to me as a war, I would sign up to fight, but I'm too old because I'm over 40. But anyway, you get the idea, as well as toothpaste too. I mean, just if you look at toothpaste and you don't believe me, look at the warnings. There's warning labels on 95, if not all, of toothpaste percentage out there that says that if you consume this, you know, swallow it to call poison control. I mean, that's pretty extreme. So, I mean, that's like household cleaning chemicals and stuff they put out. But anyway, I appreciate you watching my video. I appreciate, you know, you listening to me and fumbling through this first video with me. I think I did not so good a job, but I'm just going to get something out there because all the YouTubers, and thank you guys for saying, just get out there, put something on, screw it up, make mistakes, which I definitely had, and then, you know, learn from that and go from there. If you don't just do it, then you never will, and you think that you have to have the perfect video. So I hope that you went away with something from this, if not a laugh, some information, or both. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.